All right, let's go over round one of the Pro Motocross series. Just happened yesterday. I actually just got done watching it. It's 3:30 in the morning, Sunday morning. I just finished up watching it, so I'm ready to talk about it. First, before we talk about what happened in round one, let's go over some of the notes that I had written down pre-season. I was going to go over these on the podcast on Friday, but we had some technical difficulties. I wasn't able to get to it. If you like this kind of content, if you like the content that we put out here on YouTube, go check out our podcast because we do a lot more over there than we do here on YouTube. And we don't have technical difficulties very often, so you don't have to worry about that. But I still got my notes written down here, so let's look at them. And like I said, this is all before round one. I haven't touched any of it up to make myself look better. You'll see that here. But let's start with that 250 class. This class is really hard to try to predict, both because of incoming injuries. We saw riders like Faulkner and Hampshire and Jeremy Martin go out in the Supercross season with injuries. Those guys are going to be hard to predict where they're going to be because you don't know if they're fully healthy yet. We know they're all fast, but we just don't know how they're going to look round one. And then there's just a ton of inexperience. Jet and Hunter Lawrence each only have one full motocross season under their belts. You got guys like Nate Thrasher, Seth Hamaker, both won races in Supercross, but they're rookies. You don't know where they're going to be at, and there's just a ton of other names out there. But if everybody was coming in healthy and ready to go, I would say hands down your title favorites would have to be Jeremy Martin, who has won this title twice, back in 14 and 15, and then Caleb Russell, who would be a rookie in this 250 motocross series, but he's like a 7 or 8 time champion over in the GNCC. So he's been on dirt bikes, he's won championships, he is very fast. But neither one of those guys are coming in healthy. Apparently, Caleb Russell broke his jaw about a month back. And he's definitely going to miss round one. He might be back for round two, definitely back for round three, unless there's some major setbacks. I'll try to keep you posted over there on the podcast. And then Jeremy Martin separated his left shoulder, at the first round of his Supercross series. And apparently there's been a lot of complications with that. He's not back to 100% on that. And then there's rumors that there's even more nagging injuries that's been bothering him. So that really takes him down a step or two as well. And then you got, like I said, there's just so many inexperienced guys. And then there's other guys that suffered some injuries in the Supercross season, including Cameron McAdoo, who didn't miss a race, but he definitely got banged up there towards the end of season. So honestly, right now, I mean, Justin Cooper has to be looked at as one of, if not the title favorite, because he's probably the second most experienced guy in the class. Maybe third behind RJ Hampshire, but he's definitely up there. He's got some good experience. He's won motocross races. He just won a Supercross title. He doesn't have any injuries that we know about. So I think he has to be looked at as one of the top ones, if not the top title favorite right now. And then right behind him, I mean, Jeremy Martin is still going to be up there as one of them, as well as the Lawrence brothers, Jet and Hunter. And I mean, obviously, Jet is a fan favorite. There's all kinds of hype about this kid. Everybody loves him. But from what I've seen, I believe Hunter is actually a better outdoor rider than what Jet is. Jet is better indoors. Hunter is better outdoors. They're both extremely good, no matter where you go. But if I had to give an edge, I would say Hunter is a better outdoor rider. Honestly, though, you could throw all of these guys in a hat and just pick one out at random and try to figure out who's going to win each and every moto or each and every weekend. I mean, it's that close. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. If I had to give a pick though, right now it'd be Justin Cooper. Over in the 450s, I actually broke down a tier ranking system, and even in tier 3, I honestly believe that any of these guys could win the championship. You know, much less a race. Any of these guys could win a championship, I believe. Um, Starting off with Yamaha over there, they got Plessinger, Ferrandis, and Christian Craig, who ran the 250s in Supercross, but they were moving him to the 450 for motocross. He ran 450 for Honda in last year's motocross. Apparently, Malcolm Stewart doesn't race motocross. I don't know why. I always thought he was good when he did it. I thought that was part of the reason he moved over to Yamaha, because last year he was on that Moto Concepts Honda team, and they're a Supercross only team. So I thought part of the reason he moved over to the Star Racing Yamaha was to race motocross. Apparently not. Christian Craig's going to be on that bike for the motocross season. Both Honda teammates are in tier 3, Sexton and Roxon. I got Barsha, Muskin, Anderson, and I threw Max Anstey down here. I'm not going to go through a whole lot of reasons on every single one of these guys, but they've all shown speed and they've all shown reasons for me not to put them higher. Could they win races? Oh yeah, every single one of them. Could they win the championship? Yeah, they could, but I have my doubts. Tier 2 here. I got Eli Tomac, Zach Osborne, and Adam Cianciarillo. The reasons these guys are, I'll give you reasons these guys are in tier 2. Eli Tomac looks like he may have lost a step or two from his dominant run a few years ago. What was it, 3 in a row? He lost 20, so it would have been 17, 18, and 19. And he was just dominant fashion. Didn't win every single moto, but you know, he consistently got bad starts and would just chip huge chunks away at the leader. I remember seeing him at Washougal go from like 12 seconds down with like maybe 8 minutes left in the race, chipped away all of that to win by 5 seconds. I mean, just absolutely insane. Osborne, last year's champion, is here in tier 2 because I'm hearing that he is not 100% back from his Supercross injury, which was a back injury for him. So we'll see if he is 100% back, then he should obviously be in tier 1. But my I get all my new racing news from Racer X. I got the t-shirt on here. So, and they're more than reliable. So I feel like he's probably not if they're saying he's not at 100%, he's probably not at 100%. And then Adam Cianciarillo, this is his second year in the 450 motocross series. Last year he finished second to Zach Osborne. He is also coming back from a Supercross injury, broken collarbone, I believe, which typically doesn't do anything long term to these riders. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that have broken a collarbone. I've done it twice. This one, so it doesn't cause any long-term issues. But the reason he's here is because he is prone to those big crashes and injuries, which we've seen time and time again from him. And then I only got one rider here in tier 1, so that obviously makes him my pick. And that's Cooper Webb, coming off his second Supercross championship now. Many people, including myself, believe that he is a better motocross rider than he is a Supercross rider. So this puts him right there. A lot of people will talk about the championship hangover, which is what happened to him, which he will, be the first one to say that's what happened to him last time he won the Supercross championship and why he didn't compete or do too well in outdoor last time he won the Supercross, because he had that Supercross hangover. He was just so dialed in on winning that championship last time that he really wasn't prepared for motocross when that rolled around. It's definitely got more experience now in handling that kind of situation. And I believe that this is just going to be another thing on his bucket list that he's ready to check off. So if I had to, again, this is before round one. If I had to pick your champions, it would be my picks would be Justin Cooper for the 250 and Cooper Webb for 450. But let's go ahead and talk about what actually happened now. And I'm just going to start off with this. Before we talk about anything else, there were two huge, I'm not going to say surprises. One of them is a surprise, the other one, not so much. But I was extremely impressed with two riders, Max Voland and the 250 class, very first pro motocross race. He comes out there in whole shots Moto 1, holds off Jeremy Martin for a good long time, at least half the race, probably a little over. And then looks good in second place. And actually, his bike starts smoking before he gets passed by Jeremy Martin. And he has to call it probably, I don't remember how much time. He has to call it early, which is really unfortunate for him. Second moto, he comes out, gets another good start, and races up there with those guys for a long time. Actually gets involved into an unfortunate incident with RJ Hampshire about halfway through the race, but still ends up having a good finish. I was extremely impressed with that kid. The other guy, Chase Sexton, in the 450 class, he was in my tier 3. You know, it shouldn't be a surprise that he's up there battling for race wins. Moto 1, he comes, it's one of the closest finishes that I've ever seen in motocross. I'm not going to tell you who beat him yet, but it was, I believe they said a tenth of a second difference. It was insane. It was it was really cool to watch. And then Moto 2, he goes out there and crashes in the first turn, works his way all the way back up to, I want to say, 8th. Let's confirm that real quick. 10th. He went 210 for 5th overall. That's just insane to come from 40th to 10th in a half an hour. So that was really cool. But let's go ahead and talk about the actual race. We got just Jet Lawrence going 2-1 on the day. Not a great start in Moto 1, but he was able to make some good passes. He looked good out there, like riding smooth, riding fast. Didn't get into this bar banging match with anybody like we see him do sometimes in Supercross. And then that was in the first moto. In the second moto, he got an even better start. And Jeremy Martin and Justin Cooper were in front of him. He had to chase them down and pass them both. I mean, anybody that's followed the series for any length of time knows that these 250 Yamahas are the bikes to beat, especially outdoors, but even indoors. I mean, but especially outdoors. And he chased them down, passed them both, made it look easy. Extremely impressive to go 2-1 on the day for the overall. Jeremy Martin, like I said, he won the first moto, was able to hold on for second, going 1-2. So they're technically tied in points, but the overall goes to Jet for the second, or the better second moto finish. That's the tiebreaker they use. Justin Cooper didn't look great in Moto 1 with a fifth. I mean, a fifth is still good. That doesn't kill his championship hopes by any means. And in fact, I'm going to say this right now, even missing the entire first round does not kill championship hopes for Caleb Russell. Okay, if he misses the entire second round, that's going to make it much more difficult, but they're still not, those championship hopes still aren't dead and buried, because this is such a long series. This is 12 rounds, and there's 2 motos for each round, and each moto pays points. So there's really, I mean, 11 rounds left. That's 22 races left to go where he can earn points. Like I said, if he misses all of round 2, that's going to make it a lot more difficult, but we'll see how that goes. Mosiman went 4-4, and probably an unspectacular 4-4. They really didn't show a whole lot of Michael Mosiman. RJ Hampshire got 5th overall with a 3-5. Not very good starts for RJ Hampshire. Had to come through the pack in the first moto. That was fun to watch. And then, like I said, he got hung up with Max Voland in that second moto, which, I mean, he was looking like he could have finished 3-3 on the day, easy, but just wasn't patient trying to pass Max Voland, which was unfortunate. Hunter, who I believe is a better motocross rider than Jet. Jet is making me look stupid already. See, I told you I didn't touch up my notes. But he went 6.5. I believe something happened to him in the first moto. I believe he went down rather early, but he looked good. He looked fast. Needs to work on those starts again. Austin Forkner coming back from injury went 7.8. Where else we got? Colt Nichols, your other 250 Supercross champion. Definitely a better Supercross rider than a motocross rider for Colt. But he went 9.12 for 9th overall. Max Voland ended up 38th first moto because, like I said, he had bike issues, had to pull off. He went 38.7 for 13th. Seth Hamaker, another rookie here, went 11.23. No idea what happened to him in that second moto. I'm not going to go through all these guys. That's the gist of it. So, podium finishers for round one: Jet with a 2-1, Jeremy Martin with a 1-2, and Justin Cooper with a 5-3. All looking very impressive. And those are going to be the guys to beat. Hopefully Hunter can get up there and make some noise as well, so I don't look too bad. 450 class. 450 class. What I say about Adam Cianciarulo, he's prone to those untimely big crashes that result in injury. He had a crash at Moto 1, extremely untimely, not really a big one, and did not result in an injury that I know of. But he didn't look great in Moto 2 either. But he was out there leading first Moto and stretching a huge lead early, and just lost traction coming out of a turn. And it was coming down a right-handed turn and then going downhill, and he lost balance, and it was an odd looking crash, but he got right back up. I thought he remained competitive, but it's saying here that he finished 7th in the first moto, and there and late in the second moto he really faded. I don't know if he was hurt from that crash or if he's just not quite there as far as stamina goes yet, but he went 7.12 for 11th. Who else did I touch on? Those tier 2 guys. Eli Tomac. Have no idea what was going on with Eli. He was almost never in the picture the entire race. They have him listed here as 9th overall with 9.8 scores. I don't know. He's lost a couple of steps at least. Okay, Osborne just did not have it in Moto 1, finishing 13th. Don't know what was going on with him. I assume he had a bad start and then just didn't have it. Second moto, though, he got a much better start, was able to run with some of those top guys. Got past a few times, but still not a bad finish for the second moto. He went 13.5 for 10th overall. So there, yeah, my tier 2 guys all right there, 9, 10, 11. Let's see. I know there were a good few names that I listed between tiers 1 and 3. And honestly, that is not me covering my bets. It's not. That's just how stacked this class really is. But I'm going to show you right now. There's the entire top 13 in this overall standings are all guys that I covered in those top 3 tiers. The first one that isn't is Joey Savacci. And no, I can see him having some top 5 days, maybe even an overall podium, but he's not going to compete for that championship. Let's go. We'll start at the bottom here. 13th was Max Anstey with a 15-14 day. 12th, Christian Craig, 11.9. We already went through 11 was Cianciarulo, 10, Zach Osborne, 9, Eli Tomac, 8th, my title favorite, Cooper Webb, went 5'11". Kind of looks like maybe a Supercross hangover. I don't know. He that first moto, he was looking good. He was up there with those guys, got past late. But which is unusual for him. He's usually the guy making the passes late, but he got past late for fifth. It's not a bad Moto 1 finish. That's, in any given moto, a fifth is not a bad finish. But then the second moto comes out in 11th. I just looks like he faded. I don't know if it's a stamina thing or if he just wasn't feeling it. He does like the East Coast tracks better. I'll say that, but I mean, you can't be doing 11th. It's a long series though. This is not the time to hit the panic button by any means. Marvin Muskin was in tier 3. He finished 7th overall with an 8.7. Anderson, tier 3, 6th overall with 10.4. He looked pretty good in the second moto. He needs to work on his starts, definitely, but he was looking good. Sexton was in tier 3, got 5th with 2.10. We already went over his day a little bit. Justin Barcia, who I honestly believe that this move to gas is going to be possibly the greatest thing ever for Justin Barcia. I believe that this will be his best year ever in motocross, and it would not surprise me one bit to see him win this championship. But he got 4th overall on the day with 3.6 scores. Aaron Plessinger, another tier 3 guy. These are all tier 3 guys. Got 3rd overall with 4.2 scores. He looked feisty going after Ken Roxon in that second moto for that win. But wasn't able to get him. Ken got 2nd overall with 6.1 scores. I love seeing those crazy scores on the podium because that tells you just how competitive this class is. And another tier 3 guy got the overall win, the rookie Dylan Ferrandis with 1.3 scores. He looked great all day long, got good starts, didn't make any huge mistakes. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise because he was a phenomenal 250 rider. It just usually takes these kids at least 2 years to figure out these 450. But I love seeing it. I love seeing rookies do well. Hopefully he can be consistent, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'm going to do a recap video like this every week. Like I said, I wasn't able to do my motocross preview show on the podcast. So, I mean, that's the big reason that I did this one. But if something catches my eye, I will definitely be back here next week to recap that race, which is in Thunder Valley, which I want to say is in Colorado. Yeah, next weekend's race is in Thunder Valley, which is out there in Colorado. And last little thing I want to mention here is that Paula, which is in California, looked like there wasn't any fan restrictions there. So if they don't have any in California, they're not going to have any anywhere else. So if you have a chance to go see one of these in person, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun. Get out there in the sun, have some fun with your friends, and watch these incredible athletes do incredible things on 2 wheels. But that's going to be it for me here. Like I said, go check out that podcast. We do a lot more content over there. But I'll see you next time here on YouTube if you don't. Thanks for watching.